Okay, here's a video that I promised you that I'll be making to take you through our practice section for the 6 weeks test. All right, the test will have questions that are similar to the questions that are on our practice sheet that we did on Tuesday and Wednesday this week. So, our 6 week test is tomorrow and Friday. A-Day tomorrow, B-Day Friday. You will need to know how to factor, at the minimum, factor trinomials, simplify expressions using laws, of course, laws of exponents, and solve the quadratic equations, zeros, roots, find parts of the parabola, and a few other things you might need to know. But I'm just going to cover pretty much what the bare minimum is. If you can master the problems that are in this video, then you can at least be assured of at least passing the test. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Most of you have seen these first 5 problems in the class on Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'm going to quickly go through those. All right. So what are the factors of the quadratic? And just so that you can see where all this is coming from, I'm going to start from the beginning. Okay. All right. What are the factors of the quadratic expression 8x squared minus 14x plus 3? Well, first of all, let's place where we know things are going to go. We know 8x squared needs to go here, and we know a 3 needs to go here. Okay, that's all we're sure about. We're trying to figure out what the factors. So in order to get an 8x squared, I'll be tempted to try probably a 2x here and a 4x here. Okay, just trying different things. So I know to get a 3, I could do a 1 and a 3. But since I have a negative 14x here, then I know I better try a negative 1 and a negative 3. Okay, all right, so let's fill in the rest of the table. Negative 3 times 4x is a negative 12x. All right. Negative 1 times 2x is a negative 2x. And it just so happens that if I add these two together, like we've been doing in class, we will get the 14x squared linear term. Remember, these terms, those are like terms. So we add those together, and that gives us that term right there. So that lets us know that our factors are, this is 4x minus 1. And this is 2x minus 3. So if we look at our answer choices, I don't know if I have them or I don't. If you look among the answer choices on the sheet, you will see that one of the answer choices is 4x minus 1 times 2x minus 3. And if you multiply that out, you will get precisely, you'll get this trinomial back. All right, so we did a reverse. So we just basically did a reverse box. Okay, the other thing you could do is you could just multiply all of the answer choices together, box method, and see if you end up back here. That's another approach you can take. All right, a rectangle has a length of 2x squared minus 2x plus 5. It has a width of 2x squared plus 7x minus 2. What is the perimeter, which is the distance around the rectangle? In other words, I'm going to have 2x squared minus 2x plus 5 here, and this side is also the same length. The width here is also the width here. So that means I'm going to have 2 of them. So I'm going to multiply my width by 2, use the distributive property. 2 times 2x squared is 4x squared. 2 times 7x is 14x. And 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. And if I use the distributive property on the length, 2 times 2x squared is 4x squared. 2 times negative 2x is negative 4x. And 2 times 5 is 10. All right, so this represents all 4 of my sides. Okay, so we have all I do is add This is two of my sides, and this is some of two of my other sides. This is actually my width, and this is my length. So if I add these up, I got negative 4 plus 10 is 6. Then I got 14x minus 4x is 10x, and 4x squared plus 4x is 8x squared. So this represents my perimeter of this triangle, of this rectangle. Okay. Number 3, simplify the following expressions. Remember the rule to subtraction is A minus B is equal to A plus minus B, negative B. So the way that you subtract is add the opposite. So I'm going to change my subtraction to plus the opposite. So change my subtraction to plus, then take opposite of B means I take everything that's being subtracted to the opposite. So instead of a negative 8x squared, I got a positive 8x squared. Instead of a positive 13x, I have a negative 13x. Instead of a positive 2, I have a negative 2. Okay? And once we've done that, now I'm adding, I can just combine my like terms. A negative 3x and the positive 8x is a well, there they are. I got them together there. And then I got a 7x and a negative 13x, that's right there. And I got a 2 minus 2. And those are going to really cancel out. So if I combine my like terms, negative 3x squared plus 8x squared is 5x squared. Then I got 7x minus 13x is a negative 6 squared. And 2 minus 2 is 0, so I won't even write that. I can't even add these because 5x squared is a one term. And negative 6x squared, no, 6x is another term. These are unlike terms, so I can't add them. So that's why my answer is B. All right, let's look at 4. All right, we need these next two problems use laws of exponents. And if you wonder what I mean by law, exponents, here are the laws that I gave you. Well, let me find them. Those are the laws. This is law 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Law 1, law 2, law 3, law 4, and law 5. Those are the laws that I gave in class. So let's see what law we use. So here, notice that I rewrote it so it'd be a lot clearer. I have a expression that's squared. All right, so I got a power to a power. That's what I have right here. Before I can even get to multiply this, I have a power to a power here. I got a to the power 3 to the power 2, b to the power 5 to the power 2, and c to the power 6 to the power 2. So this exponent is on all of this stuff. So what is 3 to the power 2? Well, 3 to the power 2 is 3 times 3, which is 9. So that's where that 9 comes from. A to the power 3 to the power 2. The rule says I multiply the exponents. So look at the rule. The rule says if you have an exponent, a to the power m, raised to the power n, then that is the same as a to the power m times n. So this is the rule that we're using. So let's go back. So if I can just clean this up, a to the power 3 to the power 2 is a to the power 6. Then I got a b to the power 5 to the power 2. That's going to be b to the power 10. C to the power 6 to the power 2. C to the power 12. That takes care of that's all the rule. That was all law number 3 right there. Now I still got to multiply this first term times the second term. And this is when I need law 1. Law 1 says a to the power m times a to the power n is a to the power m plus n. So I add the exponents here. 9 and 4 are not exponents. I'm going to multiply those. But a to the power 6, a to the power 5, that's a11. B to the power 10, b to the power 2, b to the power 12, b to the power c to the power 12, c to the power 1 is c to the power 13, which is choice A. If you look over, you'll see that that's choice A. So that's 4. And finally, let's look at number 5. Number 5, I rewrote it again. According to our laws, we're dividing here. And there's our rule for dividing right here. So we're going to divide a to the power m divided by a to the power n. We're going to subtract the exponents. So that's be law number 2. So this is law number 2. So, what 81 divided by 9, we know that that's 9. But x to the power 7 over, that looks horrible. X to the power 7 over x to the power 3 is going to be x to the power 7 minus 3. Sorry, 7 minus 4, actually. Wrote that wrong. Let's get that right. Let's try that again. This is what I'm working on, that right there. X to the power 7, x to the power 4 is going to be x to the power 3. That's where that comes from. That's how I got that term. Then I have y to the power 3 over y to the power 7. Well, 3 minus 7 is that's going to give me y to the power negative 4. And z to the power 10 over z to the power 10, well, that cancels out. So the only thing that leaves me is this right here. The only problem is we can't stop there because we have a negative exponent. Namely, this has got to go. Well, look at number 5. Rule number 5 tells us what to do if you have a negative exponent. You put it in a denominator with a 1 on top. So we're going to do exactly the same thing. I can clean all this up. So now I got here, so I'm going to take this and rewrite that as 1 over y to the power 4. And so that gives me my final answer is 9 x3 x power 3 over y to the power 4. And that is clearly choice C. Okay. All right. So that's one video. This is for the first 5 problems. We'll stop right there.